Welcome to Better Daily Life, where we are moving forward 1% better every single day. Download the app and supercharge your journey at betterdaily.life. Now it's time to ditch facts and get facts with your host and my dad, Alex Van Houten.
What is up, Betterment family? This is Alex Van Houten in Better Daily Live. Happy Friday. It is Flex Friday, and on Flex Friday, we normally go through an exercise movement to help you on your 1% better journey. And well, today, this is the end of the week where we are recapping our Season 1 and Season 2 Better Daily Shortcast. I've been shouting out to the most downloaded and shared episodes. I've talked through a bit about what we were doing in each one of these days. Mindset Monday, Nutrition Tip Tuesday, Wild Wednesday, Word Thursday. And so I'm going to do the same with Flex Friday. And I'm really excited about next week where we start Season 3. It's a whole new thing for the next season shortcast. We're going to have a new intro. It's rumored that my youngest, Bennett, might make an appearance. Get excited. Some new rising child talent in the world. Anyway, well, I'm excited about those things. But I've been highlighting the most downloaded and shared episodes of the shortcast for each of these days. So I'm going to do the same today, but before I do, I wanted to highlight one of our reviews. I wanted to thank this 5-star reviewer who said, Crocs, all of them. He said, I've listened to, I know it's a he because, well, this happens to be, well, we've become friends over the years, but anyway. He says that I've listened to a lot of podcasts, and the Better Daily Shortcast is the best out there. That really means a lot, man. Thank you. And he said that I've been listening to this shortcast for 2 years, and the encouragement by Alex and his team is unmatched. So, thank you very much. I appreciate that review. If you haven't reviewed yet, I am not going to harp on you after this, except for today. Go review the shortcast. This is how we make the Better Daily Shortcast at the top of podcast charts, is by reviewing. A lot of very, very large companies pay people to review. They'll say, hey, we'll give you a $15 gift card, or we'll do this or that. We don't have that much capital. So I'm on your good graces, and I hope the quality of the content here to take 2 minutes out of your day and go review us positively. If you don't have anything nice to say, just stop listening. It's fine. You're not going to hurt my feelings if you go find another podcast to listen to. But if this podcast, this shortcast has been meaningful to you and helpful to you, and you believe what it is that we're doing here at Better Daily is meaningful and worthwhile, please take some time to give us a 5-star review and tell us what you think. And tell other listeners why listening to this episode and exploring past episodes, or maybe what your favorite episode has been thus far, so that you can point them in the right direction when they stumble upon our podcast. Because if we're at the top of the charts and somebody types into Apple Podcasts weight loss tips, or personal trainer, or nutrition, or Christianity, or something like that, if we have lots of reviews, what happens is our podcast actually takes precedence in the search function, and those algorithms make it easier for us to be discovered and for people to find the work that we're doing here. So, thank you very much for those of you who have reviewed. If you haven't already, I'm telling you right now, get it done, or I'll make you do deadlifts. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to make you do deadlifts. Although you should be doing deadlifts, because they're good for you, unless you have very significant medical contraindications. So Flex Friday. Flex Friday is a really cool day in the week, because it's cool and it's challenging. Because what we do is we bring you into the garage gym here in Greenbrier, Arkansas, where I train my personal one-on-one in-person clients who are lucky enough to be local to this operation, or unlucky enough. It depends on whether or not you like to push a CRV up the driveway on leg day. But we bring you into the garage gym and walk you through an exercise movement. I've been a personal trainer for 16 years, and helping people move their body well, mindfully, with attention and focus, with good form and good breathing and good intention. That's really been what I've been up to for 16 years. That is my area of most mastery. This podcasting stuff, even nutritionally speaking, I wasn't really focused on nutritional intervention and whatnot until a decade ago. So I've been personal training for a long time, and you could even argue that my movement history or my movement experience started back in martial arts, back when I was 7 or 8 years old. 7's when I started, 8's when I got a little more serious about it. But anyway, because moving well, the ability to take your body and tell it what to do, and to do it well without injury. Moving well is its own, I believe, is its own art form, and is a capacity for freedom, is a capacity for agency. I think it was Socrates who said, it is a terrible shame, something along those lines, it's a terrible shame for a man to meet his grave, not having known with what beauty and grace he's capable of moving. And, well, I think that's an amazing quote by a man to whom is attributed many philosophical and wonderful things, but he was saying, hey, we human beings are capable of some amazing feats of movement, and to appreciate the way our bodies move, and to appreciate the way it looks and feels while doing it, and maybe even to reach different states of consciousness because of what we're able to do for ourselves. I know personally for me, running or weight training or even martial arts, shadow boxing and stuff, there's something about moving well without pain, without injury, knowing that I'm doing something good for my body, but also, and Dr. John Rady talks about this in his book Spark, you get increased blood flow to the areas of the brain that are capable of creative thinking. And so when you begin to master movements that no longer hurt you, and it increases blood flow to areas of the brain that can think outside of the box, then what happens is running is no longer like, okay, I need to make sure my foot falls this way, I need to make sure I breathe, I'm really trying to beat this time. Instead, you're running, you're in motion, you're moving. But up here in your mind and maybe even in your heart, you can reach a different prayerful state. Maybe you can visualize things about your life that you couldn't before. Maybe some dreams and some hopes that really matter to you start to become a little more clear. And maybe when you finish your run, you can act on those things a little bit, or maybe write a goal down that you didn't have before, or write an intention or act different today. And, that's the really cool thing about an exercise practice. Here in this garage gym, I work with people who often have significant impediments to movement. Maybe they've had multiple surgeries, maybe they've gone through a terrible injury, maybe they have some autoimmune disorder that really makes it hard on their joints and whatnot, and I help them restore functions that they didn't think they could do again. I'm working with a guy right now. Poor guy, walking's hard for him. And not only is it hard, currently the way he's walking is injurious. And he has so many surgeries that have gone up his spine and his fusions and micro discectomies and all kinds of stuff to try to deal with pain in his body has created some very, very terrible movement patterns to try to protect itself. And so we're in the process of healing that and undoing that. And he's getting better every week, which is wonderful. But at the same time, someday he's going to be able to walk a mile without pain, and he's not going to pay for it for 48 hours by being stuck in his armchair. And my hope is that in those walks, he's able to bring his grandkids alongside of him, or he's able to open up his prayers a little bit more, or he's able to work on a project that he wasn't able to work on prior, or maybe to drop some of the weight around his organs that he hasn't been able to drop because the guy's been stuck in a chair for a long time. So all that to say, movement is a very powerful discipline in the 1% Better journey. And Flex Friday is an ode to that for sure. At the same time, here in podcast form, a lot's lost. I can talk you through movement. If you're an auditory learner, you can kind of picture that, what it means to drop your shoulders out of your ears and to tighten your core and to breathe right and to move just so. But if you're only a podcast listener, these Flex Fridays have been lost on you. Whereas those of you here in our community who have watched these, like the first most watched of our videos here, the pull-up tutorial, if you've been here in the community and you followed that and you watched the 10-minute video of pull-up tutorial, how most people are capable of some sort of pull-up if they just know how to progress into it, right? So we did things like a dead hang, and we showed how to do an assisted pull-up. We showed how to do an eccentric pull-up in a way to work into being able to pull your body weight over the bar. If you're just a podcast listener, and no offense to you, not just a podcast listener, but if you've only been listening to the Better Daily Shortcast, likely the power of that video was lost on you, because it's hard to listen to somebody talk through the progressions of a pull-up. At the same time, I don't want to do you a disservice and not let you in on the conversation. So my advice to you is, if Flex Friday has been your least favorite time of the Better Daily Shortcast, jump into the Better Daily community and watch Flex Friday. You can search any hashtag here, hashtag Flex Friday. You can search any hashtag and find all of the old videos that coincide with the podcast, and you can go check them out. Dumbbell pullovers and high-intensity interval training and seated calf raises and TRX rows. All the videos are there walking you through how to perform these. Well, most people need the visual with the auditory to learn a movement on their own. That's for sure. So the first most downloaded and shared video was the pull-up tutorial, how to do a pull-up. And that was round one. There's probably more things we could cover in there. I didn't want to belabor the point. It was actually requested by Miss Janet here in Better Daily. High five, Janet. We love you. Keep up the good work. The pull-up tutorial was helping her see what it looks like to progress into a pull-up. And she's going to get there. I know she will. She's a very strong woman. You're a very strong woman, Janet. So with some hard work, some discipline, and consistency, you'll definitely get to that pull-up status for sure. But that tutorial was the most watched. And then the second most watched tutorial was the high-intensity interval training tutorial. And that actually tied supersets. So that's interesting to me, because I wasn't actually demonstrating an exercise. I was more so explaining how to work in these exercise mechanisms or these modalities into your program to get the most out of it, right? So supersets are where you take one exercise and pair it with another exercise to get more bang for your buck in terms of time, right? So if you pair bench press, for instance, with a bicep curl, which is the good old-fashioned bro superset, right? I'm going to work my chest, and then I'm going to work my guns. I've got great pectoral muscles, and I'm doing curls for the girls. I'm full of those. But that's when you're like 18 and you're learning how to lift weights. And, I'm not 18 anymore, but I still think like that sometimes. Like, yeah, I'm going to do a good bro superset. I'm feeling a good bro superset. Scott Hammonds knows what I'm talking about. Good morning, Scott. Good to see you, man. He knows what I'm talking about. Sometimes you just got to do bench press and curls, man. Sometimes you just gotta. But anyway, so that's a superset, right? And so I work my chest, and then I work my biceps, and I get a little break, and then I hit them again. And what's cool is after about 10 minutes of supersetting, I've done about as much work in 10 minutes as I would normally do in 20 minutes. It's very tiring. It's very hard on the body, but if you can recover well, it's a very, very powerful exercise tool. And then you can also superset in a different way where you hit, because that was different muscle groups, chest and biceps. But you can also do it to where you really target a muscle just to wear it out with two different exercises. So let's say you do pull-ups, which is a back and biceps exercise, supersetted with pullovers, which is a lower trap exercise paired with triceps. So like really targeting the back hard in that exercise. So you could do something like a bent over row and then a high row. And the goal is hit the lats in two different ways, right? Smoke those lats, and your biceps would be pretty toast too. So there's a bunch of different ways to incorporate supersets, but that was tied with high intensity interval training, which in that episode I took some time to explain what is high intensity interval training, who should do it and who shouldn't, and then how to make good use of it in your program. And the short of it is, high intensity interval training got a lot of attention and focus from the fitness community after a study that showed that it increased growth hormone and was more effective than low intensity steady state cardio for burning fat and blah, blah, blah. So a lot of people that I know came to me saying, I tried that high intensity interval training stuff, and then my knee really started to bother me, and so I had to stop. And that's the rub for high intensity interval training. High intensity training is extremely effective training as far as body composition is concerned, hormones, testosterone, growth hormone. It's really, really good for helping the body know how to use carbohydrates as a fuel source so that you're not just eating the carbs and they're going to your love handles. Your body actually knows what to do about them. That's called insulin sensitivity. So high-intensity interval training is effective, very powerful and effective. The problem is your body can only, most bodies can only hold up to that every so often and not very constantly in the program. Meaning, if you did high-intensity interval training for 10 minutes a day for the next 5 days, and you did that for 4 weeks, you're probably going to be okay. But if you try to do it for 8 weeks or 12 weeks, your joints are going to protest, right? Unless you just have a very specific genetic gifting to stand up to high-intensity interval training. I do not have that gifting, whatever that gifting is. My body will stand up to high-intensity interval training a couple times a week, and even then, only 4 to 6 weeks at a time. So I'm very cautious when recommending high-intensity interval training to clients, especially if they are untrained and deconditioned, meaning, you haven't been exercising very regularly, you haven't been weight training, you haven't been doing regular cardiovascular exercise, and then all of a sudden you want to jump in head first into the deep end of the pool, high-intensity interval training. Well, that's not going to work out very well for you. You're going to see fast results, and then you're also going to see fast injuries. And, well, that's not good, because fast results, well injured, it's actually the opposite of 1% better daily. That's 100% better tomorrow and negative 500% better 5 weeks from now. Like, we don't do that around here. We incrementally improve with consistency, and that's why you can transform yourself over time. It works, it's realistic, it's practical, and it's sustainable. And so, that said, those were the episodes. So people really loved the pull-up tutorial. I can build on that if you want. People really loved the superset description, explanation, and tutorial, and then also the high-intensity interval training description. So guys, thank you very much for voting on those and looking at those. We changed Flex Friday a little bit in the last few weeks, where here in the Better Daily community, you have the option to be a free member in the community. And you have the option to upgrade to a premium membership, which gives you access to some more resources that aren't part of the freemium app, which is, for instance, we do seminars every month. Like last month was a weight loss seminar. It was powerful. We dove pretty deep into a lot of things people are not talking about with regard to weight loss, like unresolved personal trauma and its effect on obesity. Like, that'll mess with your head, right? We dove into the genetic aspects of what it means to be a person who struggles with weight gain. And so we talked through those things, and those are like master's level courses with regard to exercise and nutrition. And those replays are available to our premium members. And similarly, here in Flex Fridays, what we've been doing is we're releasing new workouts every week. And these workouts are printable. They have QR codes beside the movements so that if you're like, I have no idea what a dumbbell pullover is, you can just take your phone out and scan that QR code, and then you have a tutorial exercise video to walk you through what proper form for a dumbbell pullover looks like and what your focus needs to be, so that you can knock those workouts out. And they're intelligently put together with the sets and the reps and the rest period and the supersets, so that you can get a really good back workout, a really good chest workout, a really good leg workout. And we're doing those by request. So when people in the community, like Scott, thank you for the request, man. He's like, dude, I'm joining a gym and they have so much equipment, I really don't even know where to start. I don't know how to put together a good program. It's like, man, don't you worry about that. We got you. Here's a great chest muscle growth day. Here's a great back muscle growth day. Here's a great leg muscle growth day. Go kick its butt, man. And in Flex Friday, we've been going through some of the movements that are articulated in that program. So if you're a member and you want to pick Coach Alex's brain, and you want to say, hey, I'm in a garage gym, and I love a good 30-minute workout I can do that hits my whole body all together, and I've got dumbbells to work with, then we would be happy to put that together for you. We'll put together an awesome workout for you. It's there. We'll walk you through some of the movements on Flex Friday, and in that way, we can all make each other better. So my request to you, outside of continuing to share and download the shortcast and help us to be better here, my request to you is, if you need some help with a workout, let us know. Tell us what you need. Tell us what you have to work with. Tell us what your goals are. And we'll put something together for you that we can bring the whole community along with and make us all better together. Guys, this has been Alex Van Houten in Better Daily Live. Thank you for joining me for Flex Friday. Next week starts season 3 of the Shortcast, and we'll begin with Mindset Monday. But until then, it's just 1%. You got this.
Thank you for joining us for your 1% better. Be you, just better, in mind, body, and spirit. Go to betterdaily.life, download our app, and check out our 5-star coaching resources. We all have a cross to carry. It's lighter when we do it together. Go to betterdaily.life today.